Don't miss the tea. Subscribe now.
Girl, sit down. No, seriously, sit all the way down and pour the big glass of Pinot because my hands are literally shaking right now. You are not going to believe who just popped up on my lock screen. I feel like I'm going to throw up, scream, and maybe throw my phone into the Puget Sound all at the same time. It's him. Yes, him. The Voldemort of my love life. The reason I fled the entire state of California. I know. I can see that look in your eyes. You're looking at me like, please tell me you didn't answer. But you have to listen to the whole thing because I feel like I'm losing my mind. Okay, let's rewind because I need to purge this history to make the current insanity make sense. You remember how dark things got in California, right? That man wasn't just a bad boyfriend. He was an emotional terrorist. The control, the jealousy, it was suffocating. I couldn't breathe without him accusing me of looking at someone else. And the cheating. The absolute gall of that man to cheat on me and then spin it around so that I was the one apologizing for being paranoid. It was gaslighting 101, and he was the tenured professor. That's why I left. That is literally the only reason I packed up my entire life, quit my job, and drove a U-Haul up here to Washington. I moved because I needed a physical, geographical barrier between me and his toxicity. I needed to be in a zip code where he couldn't just drop by to terrorize me. It was a survival move, a fresh start. But we've been playing this toxic ping-pong game for the last 2 years since the official breakup. It's that trauma bond, I swear. We'd go no contact, I'd start to heal, and then somehow we'd end up talking again. And every single time, it would end in a massive, screaming argument. Then we'd go no contact again. Rinse, repeat. It's the definition of insanity. So let's talk about the last time we spoke before this new development. This was a while ago. We had a nice, long gap of silence. And then, out of the blue, he texts me. And you know what he asks? You actually won't believe the audacity. He reaches out because he's, quote, thinking about the next steps in his career. He wanted advice from me. He wanted advice on making a big move to a new state and how to handle the transition. I stared at that phone for an hour. My jaw was on the floor. How completely tone-deaf do you have to be? I didn't move to Washington for career growth, you absolute walnut. I moved to get away from you. It was like he was rewriting history in real time, pretending that my move was just some fun, adventurous lifestyle change and not a desperate escape from emotional abuse. So I gathered my dignity and I sent a text I was pretty proud of. I said, based on the circumstances for my move, I don't really think I'm the best person to be asking for advice. Boom. Roasted. And his response? Crickets. Nothing. He just went silent because he doesn't have the emotional maturity to handle the truth. So I blocked him. I told myself that is the last straw, but then came the holidays. You know how it is. Thanksgiving rolls around, it's raining nonstop up here, and you start getting sentimental. I was lonely. And in a moment of weakness, I unblocked him. I didn't text him. I swear on my life I didn't text him. I just opened the door. I unblocked the number because part of me wanted to see if he would reach out, but I never sent anything. So fast forward. We are now 5 months past that advice text debacle. 5 months of total radio silence. I'm living my life. Then comes New Year's Eve, my phone buzzes, I look down, it's him. Happy New Year. My heart dropped into my stomach. I should have just deleted it. But in hindsight, I thought, okay, it's just a holiday greeting, it's polite. I can be an adult. I figured the conversation would die right there. So like a fool, I responded. I said, Happy New Year back. And this is where it gets weird. This is where the tea gets bitter. He didn't ask, how are you? He didn't say, hope you've been good. He didn't say, I'm sorry for being a jerk 5 months ago. He texts back, what are your major goals for the new year? Excuse me? Girl, look at my face. Does this look like the face of someone who wants to discuss her 5-year plan with her abuser? Major goals? Who asks that? That sounds like a question from a LinkedIn recruiter or a life coach you hired on Groupon. It doesn't sound like an ex-boyfriend who tormented you for years and hasn't spoken to you in 5 months. It feels sterile. It feels performative. But mostly, it feels like a trap. Why is he asking about my goals? Is he trying to gauge if I'm happy without him? Is he trying to find an entry point to criticize me? Or is he just so incredibly narcissistic that he thinks he's entitled to know the intimate details of my future after he destroyed my past? It's just so weird. That's the only word I have for it. After the way we left things, with him ignoring me because I called him out on the moving advice, to just pivot to, what are your major goals? Feels psychopathic. It's like he's pretending we're old colleagues catching up over coffee, completely erasing the screaming matches, the cheating, the tears, and the fact that I literally fled a state to get away from him. There's no warmth. There's no acknowledgement of the time past. There's just this probing, invasive question. I'm sitting here staring at the text, and I feel like I'm spiraling. I haven't responded. I'm thinking about just ghosting him. Because honestly, my major goal for the new year is to not have him in it. But I can't exactly say that without starting World War I, can I? But then the gaslighting starts working on me again. I'm sitting here wondering, am I overreacting? Is it a normal question? But no, it feels calculated. It feels like he's fishing for information to use against me later, or he wants me to ask him about his goals so he can brag about whatever big move he's planning. He wants an audience. He wants validation. It's the lack of "how are you?" that gets me. It's the lack of humanity. Major goals is about doing, not being. He doesn't care how I am. He doesn't care if I'm happy or sad or lonely. He just wants data. He wants to know what I'm up to so he can figure out how to insert himself into it or tear it down. I feel sick. I feel like I let him back in by unblocking him and responding to that initial text. I opened the vampire's coffin and now I'm surprised he's trying to bite me. I need you to tell me exactly what to do. Do I block him without a word? Do I tell him to go to hell? Or do I say, my major goal is to finally block you for good, and then do it? It's just, why can't he leave me alone? Why does he have to pop up every few months just to shake my jar? I was doing so well. I was finally starting to feel like Washington was home and not just a hideout. And now, with one stupid, corporate-sounding text message, he's dragged me right back into the headspace of that scared girl in California. He's so insensitive. He has no idea, or maybe he does have an idea and he loves it, how much impact he has on me. He knows I'll overthink this. He knows I'll analyze every word. He knows I'll tell you about it. God, I hate him. I really, truly hate him. But mostly I hate that I'm sitting here shaking over a text message about goals. So, give it to me straight. Is this text as weird and manipulative as I think it is? Or have I just been in the drama too long? Tell me I'm not crazy. Please.